When troubleshooting the Roger Touch, it's important to take a few things into consideration. Anytime that you're troubleshooting, you want to make sure that you have all of the student's equipment available so that you can kind of analyze what's going on at every level of the device, especially if it's the student who reports that the device is not working. First things first is to physically inspect each piece of the personal FM system. You want to check the student's hearing aid and make sure that there's not wax in the hook or the tube or in the part that goes into the ear canal. You want, like this has no battery in it, you want to make sure that the student has an appropriate battery in their hearing aid and that the battery is new and not expired. You want to look at the student's neck loop and make sure that there isn't any obvious damage to any of these connectors here or any of the connectors on this side. It's also important to make sure that this is completely charged. Sometimes students, when they're left to charge these neck loop devices on their own, will accidentally leave the neck loop turned on, and that will cause that problem that we kind of discussed in other videos, where they will get less and less power out of the neck loop until finally one day it will not turn on. So it must be turned off when it's charged. It's also important to physically inspect the Roger Touch. Make sure that there is no obvious damage or cracks in the screen. Make sure that these 3 microphones are clear of debris, and make sure that everything is looking like the charging port is clean and that everything is looking like it's generally clean and intact. To troubleshoot the Roger Touch, if it is not turning on or if you are getting a strange signal from it, to do a hard reset, you press the power button on the side here at the same time that you press the mute button, and you hold for 5 seconds. And what you'll see is it starts flashing as if it's turning on. That should reset the device. So if I do it again, it will turn off, and then it will power on again. If the student says that the signal is weak and you've checked all the other parts of their system, you can go check their mic modes. Now this mic mode here is set to automatic, but it could be that the teacher is using the microphone when it's set to small group mode. So if the teacher is using the microphone on a lanyard and this is set to small group mode or pointing mode, it might sound kind of funny. You can move it back to automatic mode and trust the accelerometer, which tells this device where it is in space, or you can hardwire it to just be in the lanyard mode. If, like, let's say that the teacher never uses the pointing mode or the small group mode, you can just leave it in lanyard. If you have any other problems with this device at this point, it would be wise to go back and ask your audiologist, because these devices are fairly new. We're still discovering things about them. But generally, if you can't solve it using this video, it really should come back to audiology so that we can troubleshoot. To turn the device off, again, you just press and hold this button here. We'll ask you to power off, and you will say yes.